Sat Sri Akal, everybody. My name is Tania Kaur.
My name is Manpreet Singh.
And welcome to That Panjabi Couple podcast. Today, we wanted to talk about Punjabi Sikh weddings, kind of get into the logistics of it, the process, what happens before and during the wedding ceremony. We're going to talk a little bit about our wedding and our experience, and then just talk about the current wedding scene today.
Right, yeah. So even before the wedding, something happens called, in Punjabi culture, Roka, right? Which is like, Rok lo hun saaryan nu. Roko, we don't need to search anymore. And we found someone for, they found each other, or we found someone for them.
It's called a Roka.
Yeah, it's called a Roka. And it's like the way I explain it to people, it's like a pre-engagement. It's just a commitment, like, okay, we're on the path to get married.
We're not exchanging rings or anything, no engagement ring, nothing. No. It's just very simple.
Simple. Families get together, do or das, have dinner, celebrate. But
yeah. So our Roka was very simple. It was at my house. Your family, some of your family was there. One of your cousins was there, and Hukam Nama Padya.
Right.
And we did our das. So we were locked in.
We were locked in, yeah.
Best time, so when's the best time to have the Roka? Really, usually it's a little bit before the wedding itself, or if you haven't set the wedding date, that's okay, but you have a Roka when you're not sure of what the dates are yet, but okay, you're going to get married. Sometimes, families get a little bit nervous when you have a Roka and then you don't get married until like 2-3 years later, because that's a big gap. Punjabi culture, it's very, I guess, in the community, people start talking when you have a Roka or you're engaged, and then you're not getting married for like 2 or 3 years. That's a long time, and I think rightfully so too. Parents kind of get nervous when there's a big gap because anything can happen. Sometimes you're young, things happen, you have arguments or you have disagreements, and then you kind of start doubting yourself. So Roka is usually a little bit before the actual wedding process starts. So during the wedding, Laavan padiyan jandiyan, but before we prep. Right? Wedding prep happens. You're picking out your outfits. You're picking out your jewelry. You're picking out everything, decorations, everything. But the conversation about the Laavan never really comes into the play, at least not from what I've seen. I don't know if you've seen different, but the wedding couple don't really, or no one really encourages them to say, hey, you should be reading the Laavan, understand what the Laavan means. It's going to be read to you. You should know what you're getting into and what's expected of you, according to Sikhi. So Laavan should come into play and be talked about even before the wedding. It's not just something that you're going to listen and sit down and listen to on your wedding day, which is typically what happens.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Typically, as much as I've seen, people just know what to do. Like, okay, I'll go there, I'll sit down, I'll stand up, I'll go around Guru Granth Sahib and do all those things. But yeah, I think because our culture is so like that, like everyone has so much emphasis on everything else that's happening around the wedding, all the cultural aspects, all the logistical aspects, and that the Sikhi aspects, I always feel like are, not priority at all. But I feel like some gurdwaras are doing it. I'm seeing it on like TikTok and all these things where some gurdwaras are having like pre-wedding classes. So you sit down, they explain the Laavan to you, they explain what to do as well. But I believe too, everything is searchable online now. I think couples should. Like, first of all, I'm like boggled when they don't. But couples should like go and research. There's so much out there on the Laavan. Like, what does it mean? What is it actually saying? So when you get up, when each Laavan is read, you know what the Paisap's saying, you know what the, Kirtankars are saying. Like, it's good.
Yeah.
But I don't think it happens a lot, which is kind of sad to see still, like in this age where information is at your fingertips.
Right.
Now with AI, you could ask questions to it and all that stuff. So like, why aren't couples, why aren't more couples, studying it themselves before they go to Gurdwara? It's still mind-boggling, but I'm glad to see that some Gurdwaras are starting to do that.
Yeah.
But I feel like our community, it'll be a great thing if people explain the Lama more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, we did. I mean, I took, there was like a course on Lama. There's like study it. I read it before our wedding. Did you
read it before we got married?
I read it before we got married, but not even because I was getting married. I just wanted to read it myself. It was even before, like I had marriage in my picture. Like, okay, what is it saying? Because I went to other people's weddings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, what's happening here? What are they actually trying to say?
Yeah.
The kathakars there at weddings, they're hit or miss. Everyone knows. I don't know what they're saying sometimes. It has nothing. Sometimes it has nothing to do with the marriage topic too. It's hilarious. But
yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are families that encourage the couple to, understand the Laavan, and that's great. But I don't think we should be depending on the Gyanis or the Granthis to be doing that because, again, you don't want to look outside yourself. But in the home, we sometimes if the parent or the elderlies encourage it, then I think
it'll be great if
it'll
they
be
do.
Great, right? I think during wedding season or whenever you're preparing, you just get so caught up in the fufa and again, Punjabi culture, you want everything to be perfect for your guests. It's all about making sure everybody has a great time. The food is great. DJ music has to be great, right? So that there's a thoughtfulness behind that, so you get caught up. And Punjabi weddings can be so grand. But yeah, that is definitely a missing part. I didn't read the Lama. Definitely didn't read it before I got married. Obviously
I didn't know that.
Okay.
Well,
now you know.
Okay.
I mean, maybe I may have skimmed over it or maybe tried to read the translation a little bit, but again, I don't remember anything. If I did read about it, I don't remember. Nothing stuck with me.
Yeah.
With the Laavan te pata hunda ki, 4 Laavan honiyan and you're going to read it and it's in the Guru Granth Sahib Ji.
Right.
But I had no idea what it's saying. Right. So yeah, I kind of wish if I did go back and if I did have the chance to redo it, I probably would educate myself more, or maybe we could have done a class together, done something together where we were both learning about it. So yeah, I think that's definitely missing it today.
Yeah, it'd be awesome if people just take the initiative themselves, just spend a little time. I mean, it's a huge ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge. You're spending so much time and money.
Yeah.
Because these Punjabi weddings are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like if I wanted to get married in this day and age to you, I don't think I could afford it. Like just to keep up with the normal marriages, let alone the big, the big spectacles.
Yeah.
But there's so much time and money being spent on all these grand
events.
The grand events, pre-wedding, before you get to Gurdwara, all the time. But the Lama part, the actual thing that you're there for, gets the least amount of time. So hopefully that will change. Hopefully I'll see more and more couples getting married that actually know what they're doing, or know what they're saying and know and understanding it while they're doing it, instead of just, then it becomes just like a ritual, like something that is there that you have to do, but something that, because you don't understand it and you don't understand the real meaning of it. Don't leave it up to the Paisab in the Gurdwara to explain Lama to you.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. They're going to talk about like 50 other things, but you should know it yourself. So hopefully more couples do that.
Yeah. And the beautiful part about Sikhi is that there is an actual space for learning about family life. You should have a family. According to Sikhi, it promotes family
100%.
Life. So, which is why if it's in the Guru Granth Sahib Ji, then there's importance, there's meaning behind it. There's a reason that it's in there.
Yeah, right? No, that's a great point. That's actually a good point, because the Gurus lived a marriage like a family life style. They didn't renunciate. They didn't forget the world, and they were like, no material possessions.
Yeah.
We're just going to sit on a mountaintop, and that's what you have to do.
Right.
There wasn't celibacy, was not involved.
Right.
Family life is what the Gurus wanted for people, because you have to be Sikh and live in everyday life too. So it's great. So
I think that's
sometimes I hear people, and I have cousins like that. Oh, I need to get married. I could just be alone and stuff. And I'm like, okay, you could, but do you want to be? Like, there's two different things, you know.
Yeah.
Sikhi does not encourage that, by the way. It encourages having a family, at least getting married, and living that life. And there's so many lessons, there's so many historical elements of it, present in the Guru Granth Sahib and present in like historical texts. So yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
That Sikhi encourages that lifestyle.
So when we got married, I think you were a little more cognizant of what you wanted your wedding to look like, because you kind of thought about the ceremony.
The Anand Karaj.
Anand Karaj.
Yeah. Which is like blissful union. It means blissful task, you know. Like, so yeah. The Anand Karaj, yeah. My family is very into Sikhi, but on top of that, undoing things right. Right? No,
according to, you know, whatever knowledge they have and what they've read about.
But no beadbi is allowed.
Right.
No beadbi is allowed.
Yeah,
like my family is very, very with that, and I'm with that, and that's how I grew up, and that's how all my cousins' marriages happened like that, and our marriage happened like that.
Yeah. So I didn't at least go through the ceremony. At least utte pata hunda ki, right, the kudi aandi hai and with the munda and the kudi sit together and Laavan padiyan jandiyan, and then you walk around Guru Granth Sahib Ji, right, hukamnama hunda. So when we got married, and this is kind of, I guess, why I wish I would have gone back a little bit and been more thoughtful about the whole wedding ceremony on Anand Karaj. So I was ready to come out. You're sitting in the Darbar Sahib, and my family's all around me. I can't even like talk about it without laughing. But all my cousins, brothers, you know, my brother, my sister-in-law, everyone's there. And Kudi Jula Andiya, most of the time, the family is holding a chunni over her. And I guess there's a traditional reason for that. I don't really know, but that's just the cultural traditional thing that's done. So we're getting ready. We're walking into the Darbar Sahib. Kirtan chal raha, you know, I could hear it. And I'm like, all right, this is my moment. I'm walking in. This is happening. And then I hear your Chacha Ji, who was actually sitting tabit baithe sige. He stopped the ceremony. He was like, wait, taro, main bas yahi kehna. I mean, he was very kind, as kind as he could be, but he felt something was happening that is not right. So he felt the need to stop the ceremony and explain why we should not come out with the chunni being held over my head. That caused me so much anxiety. I mean, you probably couldn't tell during my video on my face, but I was like going crazy inside. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. What's going on? But I understood his reasoning later. I understood it, right? But which is why it's so important. Obviously, the Guru is the most important. Guru Granth Sahib Ji is the most important, right? We are paying our respects to Guru Granth Sahib Ji and bowing down. There's nothing more important in the Darbar Sahib. So I understood there should be nothing over me. No one's, you know, it's not about me per se. When we enter the Gurdwara.
The Darbar Hall.
Darbar Hall, right. So I understood that. But again, this is something that I'm sure it's still being done in a lot of Gurdwaras, a lot of weddings, just for that picture moment, for that, you know, video moment. You know, the girl is being glorified because it's her wedding, right? So that, you know, it's something that I just can't forget. The rest of the ceremony was beautiful. Everything, you know, resumed after that. He just spent a few minutes just talking about ki, you know, adda kyun nahi karna chahiye, chunni kyun nahi honi chahiye utte. And then everything else went smoothly after that. But that's kind of something etched in my memory about our wedding ceremony. But other beautiful things is the women, your babis and your cousins did the kirtan. They read the Lama.
That was the thing that I wanted to see, because a lot of these weddings I see, it's just so even before that, my family, I have a bunch of people that do kirtan in my family. I have a bunch of people that do other religious Sikhi things and initiatives in my family.
Yeah.
And so they were all present there. And my whole thing is like, if I don't need to pay, like, of course we're paying the Gurdwara to use the facilities and everything like that. We'll pay the paisabs, do whatever we need to do to take care of everybody.
Yeah.
But we don't need anyone else to do kirtan for us. We don't need anyone else to sit at the Guru Granth Sahib for us. We don't need anyone else to do ardas for us.
Yeah.
We don't need anyone else to do katha for us, honestly. We have all those people in my family, so I wanted it to be a family affair.
Yeah.
And one of the things that is missing that I see on every wedding is the person reading the lama and the people doing the kirtan, they're all male. So I was like, okay, so I wanted my chachaji to be at the Guru Granth Sahib to read the lama. Then my pabis, they all do kirtan.
Yeah.
So I was like, can you do the lama for me? And my pabis are so cool, so good.
Yeah.
I told them like 2 days before. I told them a while. I might have told them a while ago, but then when we got together 2 days before at my house, the pabis, they came together from wherever states they were from.
Yeah.
And they practiced. And so they did the lama, and it's online. Our wedding is online on YouTube. But I wanted the women to do the kirtan.
Yeah.
Because everywhere you go, you see, men doing kirtan. So I'm like, oh no, women could do kirtan too. They're doing the lama. So I thought it was something special.
That was beautiful.
I thought it was something good. And it's your family.
Yep.
Their family's doing everything. So it was one of those things I wanted to make a point to, and I wanted to be different.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give voice to that because we talk about equality a lot. And even these days with TikTok and YouTube and people see me, they either love me or hate me, but but I'm like, look, it's about equality in the sense that if it's about equality and equity, we have the same rights as anybody else has the same rights. Men have the same rights as women have the same rights in Sikhi, but we don't see it. The optics aren't there because we're not seeing it.
Yeah.
We're seeing all the, the males doing everything. So I wanted to get like,
which is very powerful.
Yeah. But I wanted to get the pabis. Yeah. So I wanted to get the pabis there to do the lama and see it. So it's like, oh, okay. Anybody could do anything. Yes. Hello. Anybody could do anything.
Yeah. No, I agree. And our wedding ceremony is filled with love. Everything was so beautiful.
Yeah.
It was all family.
Yeah.
And it was very special because there was a little bit of thought, that was put into it.
Yeah. There's a lot of thought. And we like, so when I say they don't want to do Beadbi, we make sure that we do it according to the Rehat Maryada. Like that's how we did our wedding. Yeah. Like most weddings you go to now, the bride and groom come, they stand up, matadek, and they sit down, and then the lama is read. But according to the Rehat Maryada, you're supposed to hear those lava standing up. And so I told the paisab too. I told my chachaji, tell the paisab, make sure that we're going to be standing up and doing according to the Rehat.
Right.
The paisab was happy. He's like, koi ta aaya Rehat Maryada nu reference karke and kar rahe hain. It was great. So he's like, definitely we're going to do standing up. So that's another thing. Like if you just read the Rehat Maryada, what you're supposed to do, you'll see. You're supposed to hear it standing up and then go around, matadeko, then go around and do all those things. Yeah. So we wanted to make sure we did everything according to Rehat Maryada.
Right.
Not somebody's sectional view of Sikhi or someone's other view. Like whatever's in the Rehat Maryada, we're going to do that.
Yes. Yeah. Which is why I think it's so important to talk about the ceremony. So the families should be getting together. At least the Munda and the Kudi should be talking about the wedding ceremony and, okay, how is it going to go? Because like most of the time, we just do what we see, whether it's right or wrong, but people don't know these things oftentimes, right? Jive hun munda sera panda and the perna come when he's sitting down most of the time. I've seen that in the Darbar Sahib, when the munda is sitting down, the perna come and they take off the sera. So again, I learned afterwards that that's actually supposed to be done before you sit in the Darbar Sahib.
Yeah, Kalgi and Sara.
Yeah, Kalgi and Sara should come off before. Yeah. Because again, you are not higher than Guru Granth Sahib, you are the Guru. Right? That's the reasoning behind it.
Yeah, that and now it's a little...
It's prioritizing you.
You're being more special. Right? Well, Kalgi is Guru Gobind Singh Sahib. So that's like, that is who should be wearing the kalgi, not anybody else in the Darbar Hall. And also, the Sara too. The Sara now, it's not about the Sara stuff anymore. Like everybody knows you're in so it's more like Kekin. And so everyone wants to take out these little quirks that everybody has of, we have a Sara and I'm going to walk in and then I'm going to sit and everything like that.
It's a picture moment.
Yeah, but what's covered? Covered and shrined is the Guru. You should take the back seat there.
Yeah. But this is not in the Rehat Maryada.
I don't think so.
Specifically, having to take it off before you come in, no chunni over the girl. These are things that I think...
Well, the chunni over the girl thing is, if you go to, it makes sense because I think if you go to, you go to Gurdwara, what's the only thing that has a canopy over it?
Guru Granth
Sahib. So why are you having a canopy?
Right.
See, this is the thing I think most people... I think this is the thing couples forget when they get married, that the wedding ceremony in Sikh culture is not about the couple per se. It's about the couple, but it's not a regular ceremony where it's a I do, and you're committing. Yeah. It's about the Guru and you, and how you're going to take the Guru's gyan in your life to make your marriage better. You're committing to that. You're committing to a Sikh lifestyle when you're matha taking, and to take the Sikh virtues, to take the Guru's virtues inside your life and then make it better. Yeah. That's what it's for. It's not like an I do ceremony. Right. So it's not about you really. Yes, we're there because you're getting married, I think, but you should be your second priority. The Guru is the first priority. And that's why you take a hukam from the Guru too at the end, right? So that's what I think couples miss out. They think it's all about them. Yeah. They're in charge. And a lot of paisabs and gurdwaras these days I see, I don't know, man. They let couples get away with murder as much as sometimes I see. I'm like, that's not supposed to happen. That's not but they let them get away, So it's about you, but it's not about you too. Like, I don't know how to say it, but there's a lot of others like weird things that happen, and everyone's seen it on TikTok. I've seen a wedding video where a person's sitting on a chair or like a sofa or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, like a couple.
The person getting married?
Yeah, the couple getting married. And then they would go around. Yeah, it was like it's a thing, a person not wearing a pug correctly, maybe wore a hat. And these things are happening at the Gurdwara.
That's insane.
And now I have like, it's another thing that's happening is where I did mention equality and equity and stuff, but that says what it says, right? About the guy and girl getting up, and then the guy leading, and then the woman holding the palla and following, right? Yeah. And now I'm hearing like people say like, oh, why can't the girl go first? Why can't they walk side by side? And I'm just like, oh my God, this is what we're talking about? Like, why don't you just do what the Rehat says? Those are things we can't control as a pant. And this is my belief. As a pant, that's what was decided and given to us. That's the way it's supposed to happen. So maybe you can't control those things. But you know what you could control? Reading the Laavan yourself. Making sure the person that did a Guru Granth Sahib Tibet, the person sitting there is a woman. The person doing Kirtan is a woman. The person that does Adas is a woman. The person that does Kara Prasad, handing it out, is a woman. If you want the equality, focus on that. But you're like, oh no, we're going to walk together. Or why do I have to walk behind, or to this and to that? And even if that happens, I still don't think like, okay, whatever. Yeah. But that's not what you should be thinking about. That's what the Rehat says. Maybe you want to change it. Okay, well, maybe one day we'll have revision and we'll get together, Sarbat Khalsa, and we'll change it. Yeah. But that's what it says right now. Those are things you can't control. But control the things you could. Why don't you have the women there? Well, over there, they don't want to say anything or do anything.
No, I agree. I think sometimes we get caught up in these little visual things that don't have much meaning. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I think whether the girl or the guy is in front, but you both should be equally spaced from Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Does that matter? Or I don't know. Because if you walk side by side, like one of you is going to be farther away. I don't know. But anyway, to me, it's not who's in front. It's what are you going to do after that? Yeah. Like, are you going to be, living life according to Sikhi, and are you going to be understanding what the Lama said, and are you going to be, bringing that into your life and your marriage? Because then it doesn't matter who is in front if that's not a priority, right? But
what are you going to change next? Take the palla from the guy, you give it to the girl. So now the girl's going to have the palla and the guy's going to hold it. Is the father going to come from the guy side and take the palla? Like, what's happening here?
Right.
Like,
there's no end.
Like, what father, mother is going to hand the palla to the guy now? Is that what you guys want? So, I mean, like, there's some things like that are just like that. You know, so
we don't know. I guess we don't know for what reason. But does the Rehat say that the guy should be walking ahead?
Yeah, it does.
Okay,
it does.
I mean, I don't know what the reasoning would be for that, but I'm just going to assume here that there was a reason for that. We don't know. But at the end of the day, to me as a girl, it doesn't matter to me.
I mean, there was like, see, these things, there's like little things behind it that are nuanced. So back in the day when people got married, when my parents got married, okay, in the 70s, my dad, okay, so he got up. My mom had a veil.
Right. Kun
kadesi. So she can't see where she's going anyway. Right. She's just following my dad and the lead.
And that was more of a...
And that's what women did back in the day.
Yeah.
This was 70s. So imagine what they did in the 1600s, 1700s. This is what happened. Right. So, I mean, these are little things that just creeped in, and then that became the norm.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why they do it. And now, what also triggers me is like when they're doing the lama, and then all these like the girls like brothers or cousins get up and they go around Guru Granth Sahib just to like hold her, and I'm like, she could. Back in the day, they did it because you had
was a reason.
You had a veil. Yeah. She couldn't know where it was.
That's what happened.
Traditionally, that's what happened in the Punjabi culture. Now there's no veil no more, no karn. So they don't need you, but they still do it with the guys, which is hilarious to me. You know, and then some of them talk while they're doing it, like she's, I don't know, like.
Oh, I haven't seen.
I've seen all that. Tell me a joke. Tell me a joke while I'm walking. You know, I have had cousins.
I have not heard that.
Yes,
okay,
yes. I had a family. So I'm just saying, like, the whole point of it is to be silent, so you can listen to the lama and kirtan,
right?
And go around and maybe say it yourself while you're going around. Mm-hmm. Not so someone holds you or someone's there. Like, so these are all like little things.
Yeah.
You know that I'm seeing now, and people just don't get it because they haven't, I don't know, lived long enough or researched long enough. I don't know.
No, I think again when it's not about Sikhi, then you get caught up in the other little details. So again, going back to our marriage, another thing that I really enjoyed was when your cousin did a speech after the wedding ceremony, and he kind of actually went through the lama a little bit and summarized each one, and I still have that. I kind of wrote my own notes and I had it saved in my phone for a long time. So I pulled it up and I just kind of wanted to read it, what I thought he summarized. So the first lama kind of encourages you to be responsible. I guess taking responsibility for family life. Now you're going to be responsible for someone else and yourself, and just taking responsibility. Second lama summarization is inviting Guru into your life. So that's something we don't think about when we're getting married. So inviting Guru into your life, how can you do that? How can you do that as a couple? What does your day-to-day life look like now if you are inviting Guru into your life? And third one was remain excited and addicted in love, which again, when you talk about marriage and you talk to someone who's been married, they don't talk like that. Yeah, we're excited and addicted in love. Nobody says that. But that, again, it's summarization. It's kind of encouraging you to still be in love and maybe with each other, but also with the Guru.
Yeah.
And how are you going to do that? So what does your life look like if you are doing that? And then the last one was be balanced. So I'm sure there's a lot more to it, definitely. This was just like a little snippet, but it stuck with me. You know, on your wedding day, someone talking to you and explaining these things to you in just simple terms, it sticks with you. And I still kind of think about it and go back to it and reference it sometimes. But it's thought-provoking.
Yeah,
so these are the things I think we should be thinking about when you are thinking about getting married. You know you're going to get married. You want to learn about the Lama. It's actually fascinating that the Gurus wrote this.
Right.
And then they thought about this. So.
Yeah, no, it is fascinating and it's great. And we're very lucky that that we're Punjabi for sure, but we're very lucky. Like in the Sikh culture, this promotes that stuff.
Yeah.
Sikh is all about love. So now love for humanity, love for everyone, love for your spouse, your kids, and everything like that. But also now when you're getting married, they're encouraged in marriage life and loving your spouse. And so it's great. It's it's a wonderful thing. Yeah.
So I think we kind of covered most of the topics about the wedding ceremony and the logistics of it.
Right.
So what about the wedding scene today?
Yeah, the wedding scene today is grand. It is grand. People are going all out.
It's all about the drones.
I mean,
and the views.
Yeah, I saw a person come in a camel now. Yeah, I was like, what? Yeah,
Not in New York.
Camels. I swear, Wall Street.
No way.
Yeah, Wall Street, Jersey, somewhere. Sorry, somewhere. He came in like a camel.
Punjabi Sikh wedding?
I don't know about Sikh wedding, but it was Punjabi for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just weddings are getting grand. Weddings are down payments of houses now, and it's great. But it'll be, our wedding ceremony. The thing about weddings now is like you go and you do the Anand Karaj ceremony, and it's only like these weddings I see like an hour and a half. Ours was like 3.5, 4 hours. I mean, it was because, and that's my thing too. Look, we have a party. Obviously, we're gonna dance, we're gonna chill, we're gonna have a great time, and we're gonna have time and money and spend a lot of time there too. But we also want our Anand Karaj. We're gonna spend a lot of time there too. That's a big part. So we're gonna put a lot of thought into it. We want to like spend the time and money in Anand Karaj too as well. Right. But people miss that out. People like just think it's one of those obstacles you get in the way. You get it. Okay, that's great. Photo shoot, photo op, and so it's becoming more like that. Things. It's becoming more like that. Yeah. But what are you going to do?
Yeah. I mean, during the Anand Karaj ceremony, Punjabis, especially, I don't know about other cultures, Punjabi Sikhs, we do prioritize the Gurdwara ceremony too.
Right.
But in other ways, we do it with the food. Yeah. Stall hona chahiye, chole bhature hone chahiye, jalebiyan, fresh jalebis, got to be fresh, fresh naan. So we prioritize those things.
Yeah.
But I
which is great, by the way.
Yes.
Which I think we should do. We should prioritize.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I'm not complaining either. But we should prioritize food, and that's what people are there. Yes. So many people.
It's okay to be
hundreds of people there.
Yes.
You want the best food out, of course. You want the best everything in the Gurdwara. Yes. So it's like you should prioritize. Yeah. I think that's great. That's awesome. But thoda bahut prioritize the Anand Karaj itself.
Yeah, I think it doesn't have to be complicated. It could be simple. just the families getting together and discussing the ceremony because you want to do it the right way.
Right.
So there's no miscommunication.
Right. Right. Do it according to the Rehat. Right. Read the Rehat Maryada. See what it says. Make sure your Gurdwara Gyani is doing it according to the Rehat too, because half of them don't know. I'm telling you, they just don't. Or if they know, they don't enforce it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, let this couple do whatever. It's another payday for us. Yeah. Whatever it is.
Yeah. And because actually, I think things will go more smooth when you do that, because then the girl and the guy, what's expected of them. They know what to do. Everything's just streamlined, so it's actually to their benefit when they do that and they talk about it. So, but it needs to be a little bit more emphasis on that.
Yeah. But the wedding scene today, I mean, one of the questions our family gets is interfaith marriage. So what do you think about, I'll ask you first, what do you think about a Sikh getting married to a non-Sikh at a Gurdwara?
I mean, I am no one to say that there's something wrong with it. I think if you are in love and you are serious about it, definitely there's nothing wrong with it. And I also do think that you should prioritize the ceremony. So, but then it comes to the question that which ceremony is going to be prioritized. Some would say that both, whatever culture you're from or whatever the other religion is, they should both be prioritized. You can have both ceremonies. And maybe if you asked me 20 years ago, I would have said that's okay. But now I feel like a little bit, with a little bit more understanding of Sikhi, is that I don't think you can prioritize both. If interfaith marriages, two different religions, you cannot, I don't think you can prioritize both, and be married together and live a life aligned with both religions. I don't know how you would do that. Just one religion enough is complicated and hard work. So yeah, but it happens, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, for the Punjabi part, I mean, Punjabis are full-blown lovers. So I get it. You love somebody, you didn't care about their caste, creed, color, whatever. You just love this person. You got to be with this person. It's, heat on just style. And I totally get all that. And I'm like, that's great. And I'm for that. I'm totally for that. But the interfaith is a little tricky because Rehat says a Sikh should only marry a Sikh at the Gurdwara. And it kind of makes sense because if you are marrying somebody that is of another faith, and I don't want to name any other faiths, but let's just say a different faith, whatever you, like I said, whatever you are doing at that ceremony, at that Anand Karaj, listening to and bowing down to and committing to as a couple to the Guru, if you're not going to do it as Sikhs, because it is a Sikh ceremony, let's not get it twisted, then what are you doing there? Like you are there and committing, but then if you're not going to follow anything that you're there for and to commit to, then what are we doing here? What is anybody doing here? Like, I know maybe one person's Sikh and they want their Sikh tradition to be alive, so they want to get a wedding at the Gurdwara. But if you're both not going to follow it, what's the big? I don't understand why you want to do it. I mean, I understand why you want to do it, but I just feel like it's doing a disservice to the Guru that you're doing all this and saying all this, and you're not going to commit to a Sikhi lifestyle, because it's impossible. It's impossible because if your religion says one thing and our religion says another, how could it both be true that you're going to live that lifestyle that you're committing to as a Sikh? So it gets tricky. I'm not saying this is good or bad, by the way, but I'm just saying it gets tricky. Like, okay, then what are you doing here? And now if you're going to have one wedding ceremony, let's say you have a Sikh ceremony and you have some other religion ceremony, whether it's Muslim, Christian, Hindu ceremony, whatever it is, those two ceremonies and what they're saying is opposite, is clashing with each other. So which one are you believing? So then it becomes just a ritual to get it out of the way. Right. So it becomes tricky, I think. Interfaith marriages, so I know why they said it, because that's the whole point. Like, remember, it's not about you as a couple here only. It's about you and the Guru, and the Gurus, and the Guru giving, and you taking the gyan from the Guru to live your marital life better with Sikh virtues. But if you're not going to do that, and you're going to go through it, and what's the? I mean, then what are we doing here? And that's what I think. I have no anyone that did interfaith marriage.
Yeah,
it's all good with me.
Yeah,
it's all good. You guys are happy as a couple. You guys are great human beings. Great with me. But I'm talking about like a Sikh element to committing to the Guru.
Yeah,
it does look a little off.
I think it definitely it's a discussion that takes longer than just one podcast. But because these are, I mean, it's when you talk about real people who love each other and they want to commit. It's a blessing when you found someone that you want to marry, right? And they want to marry you. So it's tough conversations to have, which one is, I think usually there's always one religion, like one person who has stronger faith, and that kind of takes over a little bit. I've in my family, I have interfaith marriage and I've seen it work, and they're, amazing. I mean, they're still very well married and happy, but I think you, choose, then you pick and choose, right? When do you want to follow? When do you not? When is it not possible? Because once you start having a family, you have kids, then it kind of begs the question, like, what's the kid gonna learn? How are you gonna raise your kids? Those are tough conversations, and which is hard enough when your whole household is Sikh, aligning with Sikhi, and if you are Sikh yourself, that's complicated enough, that's a lot of work in itself. But when you have two religions or two faiths, there's no one answer, there's definitely not good or bad. But
we don't have answers. Yeah. We're just talking.
It's just,
we have no answers.
I just feel like you have to work extra hard to just If it's a priority to you, you just got to put that much more effort into it and into bringing that into your life, bringing the guru into your life. Sometimes maybe your beliefs might clash with your spouse's beliefs if they're another religion, and so you learn to let go. I'm sure that's what happens. You learn to pick and choose your battles, I guess.
Yeah, it's tough, and I'm not judging anybody.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that that's what it says in the Rehat Maryada, and some gurdwaras hold up to that. They don't do interfaith marriages. And other people get banned, like, oh no, we're inclusive.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean you do beadbi here. That's what the Rehat says. That doesn't mean that we go against our own code. And you could, if you want to get married, great. No one's stopping anyone to get married. It's just that if you want to do it the Sikh way, you got to first fully commit to being a Sikh, and then that's how you get married. Now we're so modern, it doesn't even matter. Like the Paisabs don't ask, nobody asks, everyone does any wedding they please.
Yeah.
But it's a good rule. I think it's a great rule.
I think it can be offensive initially when you hear that and you want to get married. Yeah. You will take offense to it. But I think also if you maybe try to understand the thought behind it, what's the reason, then it won't sound as offensive, when you understand with anything, when you understand the reasoning, why it's there, why that's a rule or a code of conduct. Then you understand, right?
I tell the young generation, I'm like, look, it's hard enough. For some reason, it's very hard for them to find people, which boggles my mind still. But I tell the young generation, I'm like, look, you fall in love with whatever religion you fall. I don't mess with love. Whatever you get to fall in love once in life, truly commit, follow, it's all great. But I'm like, yo, make sure it's Panjabi at least. That's my whole thing. I'm like, because I know how, like, if they're into Sikh or not into Sikh, even though they're born into a Sikh family. But I'm like, just make it Panjabi, man, because when it gets out of even the cultural aspect, stuff is very complicated. Remember, married life itself, there's going to be so many complexities, random, not even of your own husband, wife, just random stuff around you.
Yeah.
Because of cultural
Families,
stuff.
Cultural stuff.
So just keep it Punjabi. Life will be a little more simpler for you, no matter what religion that person is. But the Punjabiness will help you there.
Yeah. Stick to the pronte, butter chicken, and chole bhature.
Yeah, and the language. And the language and, and all those things. So, but But no, weddings these days, and it's a trip, man. I mean, we're seeing grand weddings now. I don't even know 5-10 years, and when our kids get married, I don't know what is going to happen. I don't know where they're going to be.
Wherever it's going to be, you better start saving up now.
I don't know.
It's going to be a pretty penny. You got 2 girls.
Yeah. So, well, let's see. Yeah. All right. What's your favorite wedding song to dance to? Your favorite wedding song to dance to?
I mean, one that comes to mind, it's an old school song, Aj Din Khushiyan Da.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, that's so many parties start off with that. It's just perfect for the moment, and you can relate to it.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah,
classic. I think Das Jamilne. I mean, that comes up. I'm there. I'm on that floor. I love that song. I still love that song.
Yeah.
But no, that's
all the old school Malkeet Singh songs.
Yeah.
Bind Rakhiya.
Right. Boliyan.
Yeah. I mean, those are classic. You can't go wrong.
Yeah. Same. Cool. All right. Great podcast.
All right.